Well, my name's Arafat, as James said. I'm one of the co-founders and Director of Communications for the Alliance. We handle Middle East Film and Comicon. And we're here to talk about fantasy today and what it means to the world and us, especially in the Middle East right now, and why I think Comicon has worked so well across the last 5 years. It's crazy. I put this down actually because it's quite interesting when you say fantasy. You're like, okay, what does that mean? Is it like wizards and things like that? But this is actually from the dictionary. And it actually says something that is produced by the imagination. That's simple enough. An idea about doing something that is far removed from normal reality. Interesting. And the act of imagining something that tells a story. And I think Middle East Film and Comicon really does tell a story and has and continues to do, not by us, but by the people who come to the event. Right, let me just get into it. So we started about 5 years ago, and you know it is very much like our origin story, like the hero's journey, if you will. And there's a lot of parallels to Josh Campbell's The Hero with 1,000 Faces. I don't know if you guys have read that. It's quite an old book, but it's a very interesting one that talks about really the trials and tribulations of the hero. And I'm not calling ourselves heroes, but there's a lot of parallels you can make to that, which is very interesting. And the first one is a call to adventure. Now, unfortunately, Ben isn't here. He's the co-founder of Comicon as well. And literally it was 7 years ago where we were just chatting. We're a communications agency. So I guess very similar to a lot of what you guys do. So creative, marketing, design, PR, and the rest of it. And so that's what we did. I was actually the PR director at the time, and I was getting a bit disillusioned by that over here, if I'm to be honest. And we're geeks. This is what I wear to work. This is how I'm going to go work. My laundry guy asked me the other day, says, "Sir, why don't you give your shirts to us? Why only T-shirts?" I was like, "Because I only wear T-shirts. I'm sorry," you know. And that's what we do. So we were talking one day, and I was like, you know what? Why doesn't anyone bring Comicon to the Middle East? And we were like, yeah, you know, it was one of those things where we were just bitching a little bit, going, yeah, you know, why hasn't anyone done this? It's shit, you know, we're just as passionate as anyone else in the world. Fans are fans. And there was that epiphany moment where we looked at each other and went, hold on. We're a communications agency. We do design, we do PR, we do events. Why don't we try and do it? So that's where the idea came from. We were like, hold on, we're passionate about this. Let's try and do it ourselves. And that was the dream. So we went out and started talking to people and pitching the idea because, you know, events, we need sponsors to pay for it. And everyone said, what is wrong with you? You're crazy. I'm not even kidding. We went to marketing people and they were like, what are you talking about? Comic books? Have you lost your mind? Go and make some money somewhere else, you know, So that was where we started. You know, it kind of rocked us because we thought, hey, hold on, this should work. We know that there's something here. And then we went to an event because we were doing our research and stuff, and there were various events, content events, licensing events, and stuff like that. And we saw, we went around and nothing really grabbed us. There was no one creating. There was no one doing anything. It was just like, oh yes, we're going to take this product and we're going to try and sell this to you. It's, you know, licensed and here you go. And I was just like, that's boring. You know, we want to foster creation over here. We want people to use their mind, their imagination. And then we saw these two Emirati girls in one event sitting all the way on the end. And we were like, that's so out of place. Let's go and have a look. So we went and had a look and they were sketching away. Little things on these tiny little tables. And we went up to them and said, hi, you know, started talking to them. They had these little books of manga, you know, and I was like, can I have a look? And I flipped through it, and kind of looked at this one girl and I was like, did you do this? And she was like, yeah. Very nonchalant. Oh, yeah, that's what I did. And I was like, where can I buy this? I haven't seen this anywhere. What is it? Oh, no. My dad has a printer friend, so I thought I'd print some for my friends and family. I was just like, that's unbelievable. The work was such high quality. No one's seen this before. And that's when it sort of hit us and said, you know what? Yeah, we're going to do this. This is going to work. So the second part of a hero's journey is the trials. And we had a few. We had launched, we wanted to go in 2011. And that's when Arab Spring happened. So from a business point of view and from a human point of view, we were like, well, it's going to be a dick move if we do a brand new event about celebration and stuff like that when people are facing such hardships. So we decided to postpone it, which wasn't ideal, but yeah, we thought that was the best decision to make. So 2012 rolls around. It's been a hard year. And we have no sponsors in January. The event's in April. No sponsors, none. So it was one of those moments where, how are we going to do this? We've paid for everything on credit, everything practically. We've had to pay for guests. We had, I think we had Jason Momoa the first year with a few others as well. We had artists that we've flown down, Marvel, various other publishers and stuff like that. And we didn't have any money, and we were just like, you know what? We believe in this, and let's just do it. So we did. April rolls around. We have the press conference. Great press turnout. I guess it was something a bit different. So people were quite interested in that. And the press conference ran on because the media were interested. They had celebrities sitting right in front of them that they could talk to. It was something very different happening as well. And it ran on and on and on. And Ben and I just wanted to get out of there to go and see if we had a single person that had come to our event. We went out after 1.5 hours, and a colleague ran towards us. And they were like, oh, have you heard what's happened? And we were just like, oh, God, oh, we're fucked. And we were like, no, what? They're like, there are people down Beach Road lined up trying to get in. And we were like, oh, my God, thank you. So that was, honestly, it was, if we hadn't got the number of people we had, I think we got 12 to 15,000 that first year, which is great for a first year show. If we had not got those people that first year, I would not be standing here. I would have had to have searched for a job. We would have closed the company. That is no exaggeration. That's exactly what would have happened. So we took the risk, and it was worth it because not from just a business point of view, because we're just starting to make money now, to be very honest with you. But just seeing so many people's dreams become a reality. You can see it on their faces when they're meeting the artists, when they're meeting celebrities and stuff like that. It was actually an unbelievable thing. And then the third overall part of Josh Campbell's book really is the goal. What's your goal? Honestly, if we wanted to make money, we would have gone into real estate and sold some properties and stuff because that's a good way to make money quick. Comicon, not so much. It's a very long road, but we're geeks, we're passionate about it. And what our goal was, if you go back to those Emirati girls, was to build a platform for these people, to build a platform, to build a community for the people in the talent in the region. And what we've realized over the last 5 years is that there is a lot. It is unbelievable. We have this Artist Alley section that it's very low price. I think it's varied from 500 dirhams up to 1,000 something over the last 5 years. So we've tried to keep it affordable. And that's just anyone who draws, who makes something, who writes, and they want to connect with people or they want to sell their stuff. come and do it and, enjoy yourself. We've grown from, I think we had 80 tables the first year. We have 220 this year with a waiting list of 50. We just did not have space. We actually lose money on that artist alley space because Trade Center is very expensive. And selling a table for 1,000 dirhams when that space probably costs a bit more than that makes no sense from a business point of view. But it makes sense from the fact that how important it is to the community. And you've seen people really live their fantasies, their dreams, starting from a little table in year 1, and then going on year 4 and 5, launching their company, whether it's animation or communications or whatever it is, but to do with the pop culture realm. Which, and I always get a bit emotional when I talk about it because these people have become like our family because we've seen them every year growing. And that's quite awesome to see that. So that's a little story about Comicon, where we are now. And we've been growing. Had that about 13, 15,000 year 1. We had over 60,000 this year. And that growth's not being driven by us. Honestly, we're not saying that, oh yeah, we need to do a bigger event, let's get more people in. It's people coming in, breaking down the door, saying, we want in on this. We want to come, we want to experience this. And the reason I think this works so well, and this goes well with fantasy a lot, is that it is potentially one of the best forms of escapism you have, especially here. Yes, you have TV, you have video games, and that's all a form of escapism. But if you, I don't know if have many people been to Comicon here? Yeah, all right, cool. When you've been there, when you go there, what I think is you see the real person. You see the actual, what that person is when they're there, because they're not in their work mode, they're not in their family mode, they're there to be themselves. Comicon just, I mean, it's unbelievable, I mean, when people have said, like, I think I saw 50% of the people at this event dressed up in some sort of a costume or a cape or something or the other. That's unbelievable. It's just people living their dream, connecting with people, and I find it really special. And I think that it resonates with a lot of people as well, because I've seen families there, mom and dad, and a baby in a stroller, Batman, Batwoman, and Batbaby. I kid you not. It was the most adorable thing I have ever seen in my life. And it melted my heart. I was like, wow. Mom, I don't know, do you work? Probably not, because you've got a toddler, so you're probably taking care of the kid for at least a few months. The dad probably works because he has to, and well, the baby doesn't know any better, but that's their parents. But it is literally this dream that people are bringing together. And I'm sure you've noticed, because we're all kind of in the communications industry, that pop culture is just getting more prevalent over the last few years. 8 years ago, even 9 years ago, that's not a long time ago. If you're talking about pop culture, and not just Star Wars, because Star Wars is really well known, or there were no Marvel movies there. There was Blade, which was great, Daredevil, not so good. But if you tried to talk to someone with pop culture, it would just be like, oh, dude, get away, you gotta go back into your mom's basement, But you go to sort of people now, and like, just as an example, we go to sell sponsorships or exhibitor space and stuff like that. And you go to this person sitting in their tie and their jacket and stuff like that, and you try and talk pop culture, and you're just like, oh God. And you're like, okay, and then sometimes the people don't get it. They're like, oh, I'm not much of a a fan. But talk, sure, tell me what you're selling. And then, what I try and do is I just go off on this tangent bit. I was like, oh, did you watch Harry Potter? And they're like, oh, yeah. Well, okay, maybe not. I'll try and get to some movies, hopefully, that you have watched. And they're like, oh, yeah, that was really cool, fun, this, that, and everything. And I didn't like it. I was like, oh, what about Avatar? Oh, my God, the 3D was amazing, and the world was... And you're like, dude, one is about wizards, the other one is about 12-foot tall aliens. You're a geek. Just sort of realize that it's so sort of ingrained now into the culture that you don't even realize it. That, yeah, I'm enjoying space battles and, guys in metal suits attacking big, giant green hulks, And then when you say that, the people just kind of sort of, they turn, they're like, oh, actually, yeah, I hadn't thought of it that way. Okay, yeah, let's chat, So that's pretty cool. But again, I think it's because they realize it's that bit of escapism. Is that's what I'm doing. I'm living this dream world and stuff like that. And I believe, not just because it's such a great marketing tool, why has it become such a great marketing tool? I don't know what we've learned in universities. For me, university was a very long time ago. When you talk about demographics and things like that, you have the different segmentation, and this is how you do your marketing, because it's just like, oh, segment A, this income level, segment B, purchasing power, blah, 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 blah. This, as far as I'm concerned, I think maybe a lot of you guys as well, doesn't fit anymore. A lot of us will have tremendous purchasing power, so we would be in a traditional A segment, but we don't go out and buy brand label clothes costing 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 dirhams. We don't go out, buying the fanciest cars or the fanciest perfumes or all of that. But you know what? We might go out, I'm talking about myself here, and buy a 3,000 dirham statue of frickin' Captain America and say, yeah, that was worthwhile. That was money well spent. And, buy a 50 dirham shirt, discounted jeans, and whatever. So where does somebody like myself or a lot of you fit into this brand segmentation that we are so used to? You don't really, and that's where this pop culture thing comes into place, and why I believe marketing with pop culture has become so prevalent. I saw a video, and I'm sorry I don't have this on a PowerPoint because it's really cool. You keep on seeing on Facebook and various sort of social media these fun little videos and memes and things that come up. I saw one literally a couple of days ago when I was thinking about this talk. It was a county police force in the US doing a recruiting promotional video using a stormtrooper. Superb production values. It looked like it could have been licensed as well. And I was just like, are you kidding me? They're using pop culture now to recruit for, police? That's insane. For me, that just made no sense whatsoever. But it did. Because the young people, how do you approach them? I watched it. I mean, I wouldn't have watched a police recruiting video of any country, honestly. It doesn't resonate with me whatsoever. But Star Wars does. So I'll watch it. And it was funny. And it worked. I don't know if they got people going there and saying, yeah, I'm going to join the police force. I don't want to be a stormtrooper missing the target. But it was really, really interesting to me. I mean, you see so much, Rogue One, which is out next week, right? Yeah. They did, I think in the Philippines, they did a promo trailer that's about a kid that wears a stormtrooper helmet to school. And you're just like, and he's with his elder brother, and they show his life, and he's wearing this Stormtrooper helmet everywhere. You're like, wow, he must be a huge fan, right? And then sort of the end scene, he goes to his classroom with his Stormtrooper helmet, and all his classmates are wearing Stormtrooper helmets. And he takes his helmet off, and he's on a breather, and you realize that he's got a medical condition, and all of those classmates of his were there to support him with that Stormtrooper helmet. So it resonated from an emotional level, but it's a Rogue One promotional trailer. It's not, it's actually selling the movie. Again, I found that to be pretty, you'd never see this, a few years ago. So I think the whole thing about why Comicon has worked so well, and the whole sort of fantasy to reality thing, is that this is what people want. We live in a harsh world. It's tough. 2016 has been tougher than most, I think, for a lot of people. We're almost there. And this is a form of, I can finally be with my people. I can finally relax. I can literally let my hair down, which usually means putting my hair up and putting color in it and putting a robe on and various other things. But that's pretty awesome, I think. And, where does fantasy stop and reality start? They've got lightsaber training schools now. Been trying to get one of them to come to Comicon, but it's actually a proper licensed thing. Lightsaber Training Academy. That's fantasy. How is it now in the real world that you're actually, pushing this, training this? Yes, it's to make money. Sure, I get that. But how cool is it that it's, so accepted now that you can have this training academy where it obviously trains you a bit of martial arts, I imagine, as well, but it gets you in to do something that you love. Again, you've mixed media there. You've crossed media right there by how, getting a sort of a young kid or a teenager or even a young adult to say, you know what, you should do some martial arts and get some discipline. Yeah, okay, whatever. That's not going to happen. I'll go back on my iPad. But Jedi training? Oh, yes, I want to know how to use a lightsaber, and it's so clever. And I think we're going to be seeing even more of this. But this whole fantasy reality thing, I just watched the final episode of Westworld. Westworld, are we watching Westworld?
No spoilers.
No spoilers. But, for those of you who've seen just a few episodes, that whole thing about fantasy and reality, honestly, it scares me. It honestly scares me when I finish watching an episode, especially one of the big Revelation episodes. I sit on my couch for the next 15, 20 minutes going, where am I? Honestly, I kid you not, is this the real world or is this not? Honestly, I still can't answer that. I really can't. Because, I'm sorry, I go on tangents. You see, even when I've got notes down, I go on tangents. Because scientists, there have been some scientists who've actually said that, hypothesized, that it is very possible that we are living in a Matrix-type world.
Most likely.
Most likely, was it? Yeah. And it kind of makes sense. I was actually thinking about it last night when I was trying to sleep after bloody Westworld season 1, episode 10. Thinking, yeah, but can a computer or a program create something so creative, like a TV show or a movie or a work of art? I collect action figures, I collect statues. How much effort does it go into creating this world around us if it was a You know, we were living in a program and stuff. It's very interesting to think about it because, I mean, yeah, okay, a program can make chairs, make some sort of simple food and, you know, cameras and tech and things like that. But why would they give us Westworld? So that we'd, you know, be confused and think, hey, hold on, what's going on? I don't have a sort of a grand sort of conclusion, a morality tale or anything, to be very honest with you. But what, I guess if you want to take a couple of things from it, take a couple of things from it. One, from a business point of view and from an entrepreneurship point of view, the risks are massive. But if you're passionate about it, please just continue doing it. I've been a comic book fan since I was a kid. When I was in university, I did a thesis on opening a comic book shop in the UAE because there was none. That was 20 years ago. And now we're doing Comicon, we're meeting celebrities and awesome artists, and we're bringing it to a new generation and an old generation. Please just stick with it, whether you're an accountant or you're doing something else. If you love to write, keep on writing. Write a word once a week. I said I had two things, right? What was? I have no idea what my second thing was now. I hate it. I do this all the time. Potentially we live in a simulation, but if we're following our dreams and our passions, who cares? Thank you very much, guys.